Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today I will summarize and review the book, We Never Die, Secrets of the Afterlife, by Fraser presents a contemporary exploration of what people hope and wonder about most, whether consciousness continues after death, and how the living might experience connection with those who have passed. Known publicly for his work as a psychic medium, Fraser frames the book as a blend of personal background, client-inspired lessons, and practical guidance meant to reduce fear and increase meaning. Rather than treating the afterlife as a distant abstraction, the book emphasizes everyday signs, intuitive moments, and the emotional realities of grief. It also addresses common skepticism by focusing on patterns people report across cultures, such as symbolic coincidences, vivid dreams, and a sense of presence at meaningful times. The overall aim is not to prove a doctrine, but to offer readers a reassuring map for interpreting experiences that feel spiritual and deeply personal. For anyone coping with loss, seeking comfort, or curious about mediumship, the book positions hope as something that can be practiced. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, reframing death as continuity, not an ending. A central theme is the shift from viewing death as final separation to understanding it as a change in relationship. The book presents the afterlife as an ongoing dimension of connection, encouraging readers to replace dread with curiosity and emotional openness. This reframing matters because fear of death often spills into everyday life, shaping decisions, relationships, and mental health. By suggesting that bonds can persist, the author aims to ease anxiety and help grief feel less like abandonment and more like transition. The discussion also emphasizes that mourning is not a sign of spiritual failure, it is a natural response to love and attachment. Readers are encouraged to allow sorrow while still making room for comfort, meaning, and moments of joy. In practical terms, this outlook can help people integrate loss into life without feeling stuck in it. It supports the idea that healing does not require forgetting, and that continuing bonds can coexist with moving forward. The broader takeaway is a mindset change. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" readers can ask, "How can I carry this love in a new way?" Secondly, how people experience signs, synchronicities, and presence. Another major topic is the way many people interpret signs after a loved one dies. The book highlights commonly reported experiences such as meaningful coincidences, songs that appear at the right moment, symbolic animals, repeating numbers, electrical glitches, scent memories, and unexpected waves of calm. Rather than presenting any single sign as universal proof, the emphasis is on personal relevance and emotional resonance. Readers are guided to pay attention to timing, context, and the specific associations a symbol holds. The book also cautions against obsessive hunting for validation, framing signs as gentle nudges rather than a constant conversation. This is important because grief can create a heightened search for reassurance, and a healthier approach is to stay receptive while remaining grounded. The author's perspective encourages journaling and reflection so readers can distinguish between random events and experiences that feel deeply connected. Whether a reader is skeptical or spiritually inclined, the topic offers a way to honor these moments without needing to argue about their source. The broader benefit is emotional. Feeling accompanied can reduce loneliness and support resilience during difficult transitions. Thirdly, understanding mediumship and spirit communication. The book also serves as an accessible primer on how mediumship is commonly described in modern spiritual practice. It outlines the idea that communication with the departed may come through impressions, symbols, emotions, and mental images rather than dramatic supernatural events. This helps set expectations for readers who are curious about readings, because popular culture often portrays spirit contact as theatrical and certain. The author's public work emphasizes that messages, when they come, can be subtle and filtered through the medium's own awareness. The book discusses why details may arrive in fragments, why symbolism matters, and why validation often involves personal context. It also touches on the emotional purpose of communication, healing guilt, sharing reassurance, encouraging the living, and confirming that love remains. Practical guidance is often aimed at discernment, including being cautious about dependency and viewing readings as support rather than a replacement for healthy grieving. For readers considering a session with a medium, the topic helps them prepare thoughtful questions and maintain realistic boundaries. More broadly, it frames mediumship as one possible tool among many for meaning-making, alongside counseling, community, and personal spiritual practice. Fourthly, grief, healing, and the psychology of continuing bonds. A significant portion of the book's appeal comes from addressing grief as a lived experience, not a problem to be fixed quickly. The approach aligns with the idea of continuing bonds, a concept often discussed publicly in bereavement research, where people maintain an inner relationship with the deceased rather than seeking total detachment. The book encourages readers to process regret, unfinished conversations, and the sudden identity shift that loss can create. It emphasizes self-compassion, patience, and the legitimacy of messy emotions. Instead of treating spiritual beliefs as a shortcut, the message is that hope and pain can coexist. Readers are invited to create personal rituals, keep memory practices that feel life-giving, and recognize that healing can include laughter and ordinary moments. The author also addresses how grief can heighten sensitivity and intuition, which can be confusing or overwhelming, especially after traumatic loss. The benefit of this topic is practical and humane. It gives readers permission to mourn in their own rhythm while still looking for steady steps forward. In that sense, the book positions afterlife beliefs as a comfort layer that sits alongside real emotional work, rather than replacing it. Lastly, building your own spiritual practice and boundaries. Beyond comfort, the book promotes an active approach to spirituality, cultivating intuition, creating space for reflection, and setting boundaries that keep practices healthy. Readers are encouraged to notice their inner signals and emotional responses, which can function like a compass during uncertainty. This topic often includes practical habits such as meditation, quiet time, prayer, mindful observation, and writing down impressions and dreams. The aim is to help readers feel empowered rather than dependent on external validation. At the same time, the book stresses boundaries, including avoiding fear-based content, not treating every coincidence as a message, and seeking professional mental health support when grief becomes debilitating. This balanced framing matters because spiritual curiosity can sometimes drift into compulsion, especially for those who desperately want contact. By emphasizing grounding, the author supports a healthier relationship with the unknown. The topic also touches on ethics and discernment, encouraging readers to choose supportive communities and practitioners. The overall lesson is that a meaningful spiritual life is not only about extraordinary moments, it is built through consistent, stabilizing choices that help a person love well, live fully, and carry loss with dignity. In conclusion, this book is best suited for readers who are grieving, spiritually curious, or open to the possibility that love and connection may continue beyond physical death. It can also work for people who feel stuck in fear of death, because it reframes the topic in a way that emphasizes comfort, purpose, and emotional healing rather than doom. The main life benefit is the way it encourages readers to hold their grief and their hope at the same time. By focusing on signs, inner experiences, and practical spiritual habits, it offers tools that can reduce loneliness, soften regret, and help readers move forward without feeling that they are betraying the person they lost. Compared with similar afterlife and mediumship books, its value lies in its modern, reader-friendly tone and its focus on everyday experiences that many people report, such as dreams, synchronicities, and moments of presence. It also tends to emphasize personal empowerment and boundaries, which can prevent readers from becoming overly reliant on external reassurance. For those seeking reassurance, a structured way to interpret experiences, and an emotionally supportive perspective on loss, it is a worthwhile purchase. If you would like to support Matt Fraser, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.